The club's power ranking is back, boys and girls. This is part 3, episode 3 of so far this season. And as always, I will keep doing this till the end of the season, where we will find out who really has been the best 10 clubs in the world. Make sure you like the video, first of all. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And make sure you comment your own thoughts, your own list, whether you agree or disagree with any of my selections. In 10th place, we have Galatasaray. Yes, I know. Oh, whoa. Bro, put some respect on their name. Put some respect on their name. They lead the Turkish league with 9 wins and only 1 loss. They've got 3 wins out of 4 in the Champions League. And that includes wins against Liverpool, fam. Yes, you might say, oh, Liverpool's been bad, but still, the players on that pitch. You had Salah, you had Wirtz, you have Isaac, you had Ikitike, Virgil, Konate. Bro, everyone played. So Liverpool had no excuses, no injuries, no nothing. They scored 6 goals in the last 2 games, which includes the likes of Ajax and I believe it was Copenhagen or something like that. But Gala so far this season, with all the players which they have, and there's been a lot of expectation, especially after, of course, winning last season, and especially having a decent run. They've got a good run in the Champions League. And I had them finishing in top 10 in the Champions League. And so far, they're doing that. 3 wins out of 4. The next game in the Champions League is against Union, which is a very winnable game. I can't lie. Gala finishing top 8 and going straight to the round of 16. Don't rule past it. Don't rule past it. And in the league, they'll keep doing what they do. I can't lie. I think, personally, they deserve to be in this list. And this isn't really only about names and heritage and what they've won last season, this season, my brother. This is only based on this season and this season only. And Gala, so far this season, has been incredible. In 9th place, we have Mr. Chelsea. And I can't lie. Their season has been weird, bro. Their season has been so weird. But what we know, the facts are, they have won 4 games out of their last 5 games in the Premier League. They are 3rd in the league. They're only 6 points behind Arsenal. So despite a patchy start, despite a slow start, losing games which they should be winning, drawing games which they should be winning, they had the easiest schedule, but they didn't take advantage of it. But beside all of that, they're literally 3rd in the league. Only 6 points behind Arsenal. They've got 7 points from 12. That game against Karabakh, I think, will be upsetting because they should have won that game. The other game which they didn't win was against Bayern away from home. No one really had them winning that game. But one thing to bear in mind about Chelsea this season is they've had a lot of injuries. A lot of long-term injuries, especially going to 2 of the most important players. One at the back line in Lil Colwell, who, bro, the back line, defensively and even in possession, the way they progress the ball, the way they carry the ball, the way they start attacks comes down to him at that back line. They haven't had him for the past 2 months. And the best player, the key man, the man himself, Cole Palmer, has been out for the past 2 months and he's gonna continue to be out till December. So imagine not having your best player. Imagine, let's say Barcelona don't have Lamine Yamal or Arsenal don't have Kyle or City don't have Haaland. Like, it changes a lot of things. And for Chelsea, the fact that despite all of that, they've won the last 4 out of 5, which included games against Spurs away from home, games against Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. I can't lie, not bad at all. But it could be way better. That's why I've got them at 9th, because they should be really and truly at 6th, 5th place with all the expectation they had after they won their Club World Cup against Paris Saint-Germain. In 8th place, we have Porto. Porto, I think this season, no one is looking at them. No one is giving them any sort of credit. No one is even seeing what they've done. But let me tell you what they've done. They've only lost 1 game throughout this whole season. Only 1 game throughout this whole season. And that came against Forest. Sean Dyche. Come on, man. Manager bounce. But they are, which is, in the league, they're still unbeaten. They won 10 wins and 1 draw. And they lead the Portuguese league with like 3 or 4 points. But the most impressive stat about Porto so far this season, they've conceded their fuse across the whole of Europe. So people look at Arsenal, they look at Roma. By the way, Roma, their clean sheet record is very good as well. They've only conceded 3 goals, Porto. 3 goals throughout this whole season. Like, what the manager, Fiorgoli, or whatever his name is, has done in that back line and just his system it's incredible. It's incredible to see. I've only seen one game from them, the game against Benfica, which was a boring draw. But I think Porto, so far this season, I think the league is theirs. I'm looking forward to see if they can make a deep run in the Europa League, because I can low-key see them making a nice little treble. Domestic treble, of course, the same way Leverkusen tried to do it. But I feel like a domestic treble for Porto, could be a possibility. In 7th place, we have the team Inter Milan, who had everyone, by the way, everyone had them having a bad season. Everyone had them finishing way below Champions League and way below in the league, not being even competing for any of those tournaments. Everyone had them just falling off because Inzaghi left and they brought in Kivo, who didn't look impressive, of course, in the Club World Cup. But I had my stocks in them. And so far this season, they lead Serie A with 8 wins from 11. They've scored the most goals. They've scored, I think, 26 goals. And goals in Serie A is difficult. You don't score a lot of goals in Serie A. They've won 4 from 4 in the Champions League. 4 from 4 in the Champions League. That's only been 3 teams that's done it. Bayern, Arsenal, and Inter Milan. And they've only conceded 1 goal in the Champions League. Only 1 goal in the Champions League. Like, Inter this season are having a sleeper run. No one is looking at them because of the fact Inzaghi is not there, and they expect them to be bad with Kivo in there. And they said, you know what, they've got an aging team, or that their midfielders Hakan, and of course Michi and everyone else, the backline. No one is looking at them, but brother, look at the players which they have is already sensational. The likes of Lautaro, Thuram's been out for the past couple of games, Bastoni, we all know about them. But the person who I think has been important to that midfield is the Croatian Luka Modric, Susic, who they signed from Zagreb. And I've watched a couple of the highlights, a couple of the goals, a couple of what he's done on the pitch, fam. This guy is a baller. This guy is the Luka Modric. Literally, going forward defensively, there was one pass, one assist he made at the early part of the season. Like, Inter Milan is having a sleeper run. And I think that can continue. I think that can continue if everyone stays healthy. But Inter, 7th place, I think is very fair. In 6th place, we have got the team who is making a lot of noise. Everyone is watching. Everyone has been taking notes. Manchester City in 6th place. 2nd in the league. 2nd in the league, only 4 points behind Arsenal, despite having a very slow start, only winning 1 in the first 3 and losing 2 games to both Spurs and Brighton. 10 points out of 12 in the Champions League. It could have been 12 from 12 if they didn't concede that last-minute penalty to Monaco. And their best player in the whole world is Haaland. The Ballon d'Or form that he's producing at the moment. And I'll do, similar to what I do, the power ranking with clubs, I'll do a power ranking with players so far, the 3rd edition as well of that series, which I'll drop in the next couple of days on the 2nd channel. But Man City so far this season, even players impressing, doing well, like the likes of Doku, the likes of Nico Gonzalez, the likes of Nunes, the likes of Foden, the likes of O'Reilly. I think players are playing well now at the right time. And I think if they can continue doing this, they can finish higher, 4th, 3rd, potentially 2nd. Like, I'm looking forward to the way how they end this year, especially 2025, because they've got some difficult games coming up. Of course, the likes of Real Madrid, which I'm looking forward to, because I'm looking at Man City, and if they beat us, the next edition of the club power ranking, they might be above us. Let's be real. In 5th place, we have got Barcelona. They are only 3 points behind Real Madrid, despite a slow start and injuries. They scored the most goals in, of course, La Liga with 32 goals. But I checked something today whilst I was doing this. Every player has been injured for Barcelona. So if you go throughout the whole starting 11, the likes of Juan Garcia, Koundé, Kobasi, there was a centre-back next to them, Aruka, whoever it is, Balde, Frankie, Pedri, Lamine, Fermin, Rafinha, and Lewa, everyone has had injuries throughout this whole season. So Barcelona has had a very difficult start with injuries, but despite all of that, they still are only 3 points behind Real Madrid. They've scored a lot of goals. They still win. And that is throughout this whole injury crisis and Hansi Flick just second season syndrome in the sense of the high line of being stubborn. I think if the players comes back fully healthy, and if Hansi Flick figures out and stops being stubborn, I think Barcelona, their peak is better than, I think is very high. And if I look at Real Madrid and Barcelona, because in fourth place, I've got Real Madrid. In fourth place, I've got Real Madrid. But the thing is, it's very important to bear in mind. I think top three, you guys already know. You guys got an impression who the top three are. I think top three are on a category of their own. First, second, and third. And I think the second category, like tables, I like tables. If you guys watch my content, it's all about tables. Table one is the likes of the top three. Table two is the likes of Real Madrid, the likes of Man City, the likes of Barcelona, and X, Y, and Z. But the one team, if they play at their absolute best, and we've seen that, I think it's Barcelona. Because with Real Madrid, their absolute best was beating a Barcelona side 2-1. And I don't know if we can reach the absolute best with this team and with this manager. So, but Barcelona, their absolute best, really and truly, if the players are back fully healthy, I think it's better than Real Madrid's absolute best. That's just my opinion. And that's that. I don't like saying that, man. I don't know why. Xabi Alonso, fam. The players were laugh, fam. We had an overrated start, fam. But anyway, man, Real Madrid, of course, leads La Liga with 10 points. Sorry, I was in my own world, fam. I was just annoyed. I was just annoyed, fam, because we're fourth place, but in the power ranking. But brother, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. That's the thing. Like I'm saying, we've got 10 wins from 12. We've got 3 wins from 4, and we've scored 34 goals this season. Like, from an outside looking in, if you haven't watched Real Madrid this season, and if you told a person, imagine if you've got 10 wins from 12 in the league, and you lead the league, you've got 3 wins out of 4 in the Champions League, and you've scored 34 goals this season, is that a great season? They will say, absolutely, give me that season. But if you actually watch Real Madrid throughout this whole season, it hasn't been impressive, bro. It hasn't been impressive. Overrated, bro. That's just my opinion. And I'm a Madrid. Now I'm going to go, look, it's spoiled. Bro, watch the games that you would know. And as I said, the best 3 clubs, I think that's a good table that separates them so far this season. In third place, we've got Paris Saint-Germain. And Paris Saint-Germain, tough, very, very tough start with every player, similar to Barcelona. They've had every player out with injuries, and they continue to have out. Hakim is out for the next couple of weeks. Nuno Mendes out for the next couple of weeks. Dembele is out for the next couple of weeks. They've had everyone injured except for the goalkeeper, but they still lead the league, and they've got 3 wins from 4, despite a very tough schedule. Like Paris Saint-Germain's schedule this season in the Champions League was very, very difficult. So many difficult games, but they've managed to actually win 3 from 4, which is pretty impressive despite all the injuries they've had. And they're tied with Bayern with the most goals scored in the Champions League. I think Paris Saint-Germain last season was the best team in the world. So far this season, with all the injuries, I don't think they are the best team in the world. I think the top 3 for sure, though. And in second place, we will find out by next month who's second and who first place will be. But as of right now, because both of them will face each other in the Champions League next game week, and everyone's looking forward to it. And we'll find out who really is the best team in the world. But as of right now, in second place, I have got Arsenal. First in the league, only lost once this season, and that was against Liverpool. They went the whole of October without conceding a single goal, which is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. And I think I read a stat, which I don't know if it's true or not. They've only, across the whole of October, they've only conceded 4 shots on target, which is crazy. But they've got 4 wins out of 4 in the Champions League, 11 goals and 0 goals conceded. And that's why I'm looking forward to see if that can maintain, if the Champions League record, which is 4 from 4, 0 goals conceded, can they do that when they face the best team in the world, Bayern Munich, who is still the only team undefeated. They've had the best ever start of any team across of the top 5 leagues in the history of this game. Bro, they've won every game except for one. And that one game which they didn't win was the last game in the league, which they drew against Union Berlin. But the games which everyone said, I by the way said it, like I had them second last month. episode of this series. And I said, listen, the games which I'm going to judge Bayern massively is the games against Paris Saint-Germain and Arsenal. They beat Paris Saint-Germain. That was a statement win. Away from home, yes, you can say, well, Paris Saint-Germain had injuries. You know, people don't look at Bayern's injuries as well. People, they like to disregard. You know, they've got 2 stars out. Alphonso Davies has not been playing, and Jamal Musiala has not been playing. So they've got 2 stars out, but no one look at that. Yes, Paris Saint-Germain, Mendes went down, Hakimi went down, Dembele went down, but fam, they've got injuries, but they're still winning, and they're making it seem like they don't have injury. Like, no one's talking about their injury record, but it's actually because they look at the wins, and the wins are just clouding everyone's judgment, which is, they are by far for me, not by far. In terms of the top 3, they are the better team out of the top 3, but as I said, the 2 games which I judged them massively is the game against Paris Saint-Germain and the game against Arsenal. So next game, when they face Arsenal, that's going to be massive because let's see who really is the best team. Is that 0 goals conceded? Is that going to continue when they face the team who scored the most goals? They've scored over 50 goals so far in November. Fam, let's see. But this is my top 10 so far this season. Make sure you put your top 10 down in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you soon with another video. As I said, throughout the whole international break, I'll be giving you guys daily videos.